Good day everybody, it's Matt here, and today I'm going to show you how to lock DFI tokens in the freezer on Cake DeFi. And you might want to use that freezer product because it allows you to earn a much higher APY than just standard flexible staking. Of course, flexible staking is still giving you a decent return anyway, with right now it being about 33% APY, but the freezer lets you multiply that quite substantially. Now, before we jump into that, I do have to say this is not at all financial advice. It's purely for your entertainment. You should do all of your own research and definitely don't invest in anything that you can't afford to lose. Now, with that out of the way, I am assuming you already have an account on Cake DeFi. If not, check out the referral links down in the description because they will give you a $30 USD sign-up bonus paid in DFI tokens when you deposit 50 USD worth of crypto into the Cake DeFi platform. So definitely worth doing that if you don't already have an account. Once you've got an account sorted out, jump onto the website with me and we'll run through how to stake DFI tokens and lock them into the freezer for boosted returns. Once you've logged into the Cake DeFi website, head to that freezer item in the menu bar there. I'm assuming you've already got DFI tokens on here because you do need them in order to stake and lock them in the freezer. Now the freezer here on this screen will give you a good indication of estimated returns based on the amount that you're going to stake and also the boosted returns of locking it in the freezer. Now, as you can see, it's telling me I don't actually have any DFI to freeze right now. That's because I don't currently have any staking shares. If we don't have any staking shares, but we know we've got DFI tokens, all we want to do is just click Stake DFI here, and it will actually jump us straight to that staking screen. Alternatively, up in the main menu, we can go under All Products and Staking, and that will also bring us to this screen. And we can see here, DFI Staking. So that's the one that we want. So we'll click Stake DFI tokens from this drop-down option here, press Continue, and I want to put the maximum amount of DFI that I've got in here. Now, it'll show you what your actual balance is there, if you don't have it hidden like I currently do, and also any fees and the current conversion rates and so on. So one DFI converts to one DFI staking share directly, so you're getting exactly the same amount of staking shares as your DFI. So once we're happy with that, we'll click Stake. It'll ask us to confirm we agree to the terms of service, and then we'll click Stake. That APY there, we're seeing 33% right now. Of course, that's likely to fluctuate with the platform, and that stake has just been completed. So we'll head back to the freezer now. And so from the freezer, we can see here that we now have an amount of DFI here that we can freeze. We can change that amount, we can hit the max button to pre-fill it with all of our staking shares, which is what it's already done anyway for us. Now over here on the left-hand side, we can see based on that amount of DFI, we can see what our estimated return would be with or without the freezer boosted yield at different times. So we can see here right now it's suggesting at year 3, which this is based on this monthly period here. So we've got, this is 36 months that it's saying locked for. So with the freezer, we would get 23.3 DFI compared to 22.3 DFI without the freezer. And so basically, we've got our base DFI APY. We've got a 75% rebate on the staking fees that Cake DeFi normally takes off the top of your returns before this APY is calculated. And so that gives us this estimated APY with the freezer product. So we're talking about an extra 5.1% at the moment for 3 months. We can go for as far as 10 years. So if we were locking this all the way up to that 120 months, we're actually going beyond just a fee rebate. We're now actually doubling our APY. So we're going from 33% up to 76, almost 77% APY there. So all of a sudden, over 10 years, we're now making 35.9 DFI instead of 25.1. And this is also taking into account, as per the little note here, that the block rewards are likely to change over time. So it may not be 100% accurate, but it is factoring that in. It, of course, doesn't take into account with the dollar amount that price changes can occur. So that's not considered. But looking at this, we're saying 14 DFI. I mean, over 10 years, we're getting a return of 25 anyway. So looking at different periods, we can see here, once you lock for at least 60 months, you're going up to a reward multiplier instead of a fee rebate. So it goes to 1.5 times the rewards. And of course, up to that 120 months gets you that double reward. Any other bonuses or rewards that are currently happening will also show here. Right now, there's actually a bonus for Cake DeFi's 3rd anniversary, which is 7.5%. So that is an extra 1 DFI on that amount at the moment. And so that's displaying here too, even though that is only a one-off thing. Once we're ready to go, if we're happy with the period that we've got selected, we can click that Freeze Now button. So I'm going to do this for the 10 years, 120 months, and we can see that they're going to give us a summary of what we're doing in order to confirm it. So again, we've got that length of tenure, the amount of DFI shares that are being frozen, the base APY, the reward multiplier, the APY with that reward multiplier taken into account, any bonuses, and then our estimated return in USD based on current pricing with that bonus. In order to confirm, we've got a couple of things here because this is a long time to lock tokens for. I imagine a lot of people do it without thinking about the ramifications that means they can't get them back for 10 years, right? It's a long time. So something to keep in mind there. If you do lock anything in here, you're not getting it back until that time frame has elapsed. There are shorter ones, of course. You don't have to lock it for 10 years or even 5 years. You can lock for just a few months and that'll still boost your return compared to the standard staking. So for 10 years, we're typing in the number of months here just to confirm our intention to freeze it for that many months. We're then also ticking the box to confirm we understand and accept that we can't unstake them until that period has expired. And so that freezing is irreversible. We're also confirming that we agree and understand that the APY is determined by blockchain emission rates and that changes and that Cake DeFi has no control over that. If we're happy with all of this, we can go ahead and tick that box and click the freeze button. And that will lock our DeFi tokens for that period. And we'll start to earn a return on them. So if we scroll down the page a bit, we can see what we've currently got locked in the freezer here. We can see when that's going to defrost, so to speak, or become available for us to withdraw it or unstake it. We can see what our base and bonus APYs are, our tenure, and we have the option to auto renew. So we can turn that off if we want, or we can leave it on. Auto renew will essentially renew it for the same period at that time when the current tenure ends. So if you don't think you're going to want to have that locked for another 10 years, you might want to turn that auto renew off. So you can just click it and that'll turn it off. If you scroll down the page even further, it will give you some more information on freezer highlights, and it'll give you a little bit of transparency information on the freezer product. And so it's got here the total amount of DFI that's frozen in the freezer product and what periods it's been frozen for. So I can see here the majority of it is actually frozen for that 10-year period. And we've also got indication here of when those freezer products are going to become available to unfreeze. So there's a big chunk of it here that's going to be available to unfreeze in 111 months. And then we've got smaller amounts thereafter. Right down the bottom, we have the frequently asked questions, and that is it. That is how you stake your DFI tokens and lock them in the freezer for a set time frame in order to boost your returns compared to standard staking. Again, make sure you do all your own research on this. You are potentially locking your tokens up for a very long time. So definitely don't invest in anything that you can't afford to lose, because you're not getting it back, right? You're not getting it back for that time period minimum. And if you've left auto renew on and you don't think about that and turn it off and you think you might want them back, like you're potentially auto renewing for another 10 years, for example, in this instance. So that is a long time. So definitely something to be aware of there. Definitely be careful with that. This is not financial advice. Again, this is for your entertainment. Don't invest in anything you can't afford to lose, guys. So that all said, I hope you found this video helpful. Again, if you're thinking about using Cake DeFi and you're not already, check out that referral link down in the description. I really appreciate that. Have an awesome day. I'll catch you next time. Bye.